Welcome back to TCM. I'm Dave Karger. Up next is a classic Technicolor Warner Brothers adventure from 1938, starring Errol Flynn in the definitive performance of his career. It's The Adventures of Robin Hood. Flynn plays the legendary bandit king of Sherwood Forest, who leads his troop of merry men in an ongoing battle against England's corrupt and scheming Prince John. When it premiered in 1938, The Adventures of Robin Hood propelled Errol Flynn to new heights of stardom. It also proved to be a groundbreaking and important film for Flynn's home studio, Warner Brothers. This was one of the studio's early efforts to produce a feature film using the three-strip Technicolor process, and the movie's budget, which exceeded $2 million, was astronomical for its time. Fortunately, the investment turned out to be worth it, and the movie was a huge critical and commercial hit, establishing Warner Brothers as the premier producer of adventure films in Hollywood in the late 1930s. The film earned an Oscar nomination for Best Picture and took home Academy Awards for Best Art Direction, Editing, and for its rousing musical score by Erich Wolfgang Korngold. This was Korngold's only Oscar win, but he was nominated 2 more times over the next 2 years for movies that also starred Errol Flynn: The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex and The Seahawk. The movie features a terrific supporting cast, including Claude Rains as the evil Prince John, Basil Rathbone as his accomplice Sir Guy of Gisborne, and Alan Hale in the role of Robin Hood's sidekick Little John, which was a character he played in 3 Robin Hood movies between 1922 and 1950. There's also Errol Flynn's most frequent leading lady, Olivia de Havilland, as Maid Marian. From 1938, directed by Michael Curtiz and William Keighley, The Adventures of Robin Hood. Basil Rathbone studied diligently to prepare for his role in The Adventures of Robin Hood as the villainous Sir Guy of Gisborne, and despite being an accomplished fencer, he worked closely with a fencing instructor to perfect his sword skills for the film. Errol Flynn had no interest and no patience for that kind of formal instruction. Although he did receive some instruction in sword techniques, Flynn relied primarily on his natural grace and athleticism to guide him through the duels. Unfortunately, despite Rathbone's preparations, he ended up suffering a serious injury during the scene when Robin escapes from the castle. He was knocked down and trampled by extras, and a spear cut his foot so severely that he needed 8 stitches to close up the wound. Rathbone's performance in this movie was not rewarded with an Oscar nomination, but the same year, he did get nominated for his supporting performance in another historical drama, If I Were King. Errol Flynn, on the other hand, was never nominated for an Academy Award. Coming up, Albert Finney gives an Oscar-nominated performance as a classic literary character in the movie that won the Oscar for Best Picture of 1963. But first, we have a documentary short from James A. Fitzpatrick's Travel Talk series covering historic England.
Next on TCM, glimpses of Old England. Then, Tom Jones. And later, When Worlds Collide. Brace for impact on TCM today.